Hello, my name is Siti Rahman, and today I would like to share about my glider project. I would like to introduce to my glider the classical. Okay, the classical glider was a combination of the Schweizer SGS 2-33A, Siren C30 Edelweiss glider, and Airbus Zephyr. The tapered wing design of the classical was taken from the Schweizer SGS 2-33A, while its tail, known as ruddervator, was inspired by Siren C30 Edelweiss, and the long, round, small diameter of its fuselage was inspired from the Airbus Zephyr. Okay, now let's see what is the Schweizer Edelweiss and the Airbus Zephyr itself. The Schweizer SGS 2-33A is an American one-seat, high-wing strap-braced training glider that was built by Schweizer Aircraft of Elmira, New York. The aircraft first flew in 1965 and production was started in 1967, and production was completed in 1981. And from its introduction until the late 1980s, the 2-33 was the main training glider used in North America. Alright, now you see the Siren C30 Edelweiss, or known as in short form C30S, is a standard class single seat competition sailplane that's designed in France in the early 1960s, and it's designed by Elegant. The first was on 25th of September 1962, and the Siren C30 Edelweiss came in second in its class at the 1963 World Gliding Championship (WGC), and 2 years later it win on first in its class. And nowadays several are still flying in France and elsewhere around the world. Airbus Zephyr. The Airbus Zephyr is a high-altitude, long-endurance unmanned aircraft. The Zephyr was originally designed and built in 2003 by the British defense contractor, Synthetic. The Zephyr system was sold to EADS Airstream, or known as Airbus Defence and Space, in March 2013, where it was successfully reflown as part of the High Altitude Pseudo Satellite Program, or known as HAPS. Currently, there are 4 Airbus Zephyr is being built, and there are 3 are still in service. The tapered wing design was chosen because this design had wider wing surface but medium wing length. Because nowadays, the modern gliders tend to have much longer wing with fancy curvy wing to achieve high glide ratio. But for the classical, I stick to the medium wing length with wide wing surface because the wing was made of Manila cut. So the usage of Manila cut was more compatible with wide surface to achieve higher lift. Manila cut will be heavier and more struts will be needed when I use the modern wing design, which is the long wing length, more than a meter with a winglet was applied. So weight of glider will be increased too. Thus, Manila cut was selected as the wing material for the classical, and the wing was installed to the fuselage as a high wing type, because the high wing type provided by center of gravity that sits below the wing. Meaning the fuselage of the aircraft acts as pendulum to increase glider stability. Hence, the tapered wing design of Schweizer SGS 2-33A is a great choice as long as the airfoil design was based on the National Advisory Committee of Aeronautics, or NACA airfoil. Apart from that, the ruddervator design from Siren C30 Edelweiss, or known as Siren C30S, was chosen because the ruddervator or known as V-tail, provide lighter tail and has less weight surface area, so it will produce less in use and parasitic drag. Other than that, moreover, a long, round and small diameter fuselage that was inspired by Airbus Zephyr was also tend to reduce the glider's weight and parasite drag. In addition, I choose the classical as the name of my project glider because based on the online Cambridge dictionary, classical means traditional in style or form, or based on method developed over a long period of time, and considered to be of lasting value. Indeed, the classical is a perfect name for my glider, as the combination design were different from nowadays our modern gliders. For example, wide surface tapered wing, V-tail, and both of these characteristics were used in gliders from 1950s until 1980s. These designs are also developed over a long period of time. Although the fuselage itself came from the 2013 design of Airbus Zephyr, its simple fuselage with no fancy design still made my theme, which is the simple and classic theme, is still made me on track with the simple and classic theme. Hence, I would like to tribute the classical design combination, the flying machine enthusiasts and veterans like Ibn Firnas, Sir George Kelly, Otto Lilienthal, and others. Although they did not really have any reference to make the gliders like nowadays, they managed to make gliders which inspired by nature with limited resources, like feathers and leathers or animal skins. Uh, Without their passion in improving the design and the pioneers after them, our generation may not have modern gliders that have high glide ratio that made of lightweight but high strength materials such as fiberglass. Okay, enough with the introduction. Now let's see what materials and tools needed and how the classical was made.
The tools needed for making the glider were ruler, scissors, pencil, and eraser. And the materials needed were manila cut, cellophane tape, masking tape, and weights like 50 cents coin. First and foremost, the manila cut was folded into 4 big sections equally. Secondly, the sections of manila cut were cut using a pair of scissors. Only one big section was used to make the glider's part. Then, the one section of the manila cut was folded and cut again into 2 smaller sections equally. The first section was used to make the wing, while the second section was used to make the fuselage and the tail. The first section was folded carefully into half to create a wing profile. An airfoil-shaped wing profile was created using a pencil and a ruler. A pencil was used to make the upper part curve, while the ruler maintained the flatness of the lower part. Then, the aft of the wing was cut off in the shape of triangle in order to make the wing tapered shape. Next, the aft of wing was taped with cellophane tape to maintain the shape and aerodynamic of the wing. After that, the second section was cut into the size needed to make a piece of V-tail. Then, the center of the V-tail was folded into V shape. The middle point of V-tail aft part, at the left and right side, was cut around a half to provide the radiator control surface. Later, the remaining piece of manila cut from the second section was used to make the glider's fuselage. The manila cut was rolled by using a pencil, and the end of the manila cut was taped to maintain the roll shape. The measurement length of the fuselage was 25 cm, so the remaining over length was cut with scissors. After making the glider's parts, all parts were combined to build a glider by using cellophane tape and masking tape. The center of the wing was taped on the top of fuselage. The main point of the wing was taped from the front tip of fuselage, and the V-tail was taped at the rear of the fuselage, specifically at the lower part. Last but not least, a weight or coin was put at the front tip of the fuselage to give some weight and stability. A balancing test was made by putting the left and right index fingers at the lower area of left and right wing respectively, around a quarter from the fuselage main point.
This is the example of how the balancing test was made. If it is not too forward and not too backward, it is acceptable. So now we can test it at the first flight. Let's go. On the first trial, the classical glider glide for a short time and it almost hit the camera woman. Okay, it shows that a few changes need to be made. Firstly, the weight and coin was removed from the front tip of the fuselage because the additional weight had made the glider's front weight increase. As a result, the glider tend to fly only a short amount of time, as the front tip tend to descend faster because of the force of gravity. Secondly, the place of the glider launching itself was changed from the place with limited wing, which is at the stairs, to the place near the wing area, which is under the ceiling fan. The availability of wind will improve the gliding time, as the ceiling fan tend to circulate and interchange between the warm air and the cool air, which is the warm will rise and the cool air will stay at the bottom. So as the warm air rise, or known as the rising pockets or thermals, this thermal phenomenon is usually applied to the gliders and to the real life gliders too. So the gliders will tend to uplift or updraft. So it will be so this also will be applied to my objects too. So let's see the second trial of the gliding flight. So let's go. Second trial, the time taken was a little bit longer, and it looks like after a few changes, the performance of the glider increases. And in conclusion, glider with less weight and applying thermal phenomenon during gliding tend to increase the glider's flying time and increase the lift of glider. So that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Bye and selamat Hari Raya and stay safe everyone.